In today's video, we're going to be checking out the ENGL Savage 120 plugin by Brainworx. Let's get right into it. Hey there folks, Paul here once again. Got my coffee ready. It's kind of early here in Vancouver. It's still kind of sunny. It's been really crazy weather and it's time to get into a new plugin. So I realized that this is a plugin from another company. Yes, I'm endorsed by Neural DSP. I was not paid by anyone to do like a hit piece or anything like that. This is just an opinion of a plugin that I've always actually really wanted to try. And here it is. You know, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, I have an endorsement from a competitor of a company, but I actually really like ENGL amps and I'm excited to see what this is all about. So let's dive right in. In front of me right now is the ENGL Savage 120 plugin by Brainworx. This is just completely stock. Let's hear how it sounds. I've got voice 2 on my Tosin Abbasis and this Aristides 06. So let's just hear it. Let's just hear stock. Voice 1. Lots of pentatonic riffing. There's a lot of depth, which I don't really like. So I'm going to turn off the depth boost. All right, voice 2. Lots of depth. So I can hear that there's a good tone in there. It's just muddy as hell. Let's go through the breakdown of this so that we are on the same page here. So we've got, I'm not exactly actually sure what sense means. I know that this brightness only seems to apply to this top channel here. This is the gain, the pre-shape, which is like, it just, again, changes the structure of things. Crunch 1 gain, bass, middle, treble, easy. Contour is interesting. This seems to apply to, I think it's just the top again. Clean volume, crunch 1 volume, and then there's your switch right there, so you can see that. Presence A and B, there's that depth boost for that. There's this overall depth boost, I think. Actually, no, you know what? It's for the masters, I believe. So now the depth boost is off. There we go, testing stuff. This is the presence A and B. That makes a lot of sense, so that you can control your really highs and your really lows. I really like that. Huh, really? Then there's gain, lead boost, which is just more gain than lead gain on top of that gain. So if you're on the lead volume channel, I believe that this starts to affect that. It's like even more. There's a contour for this. There's this rough and smooth, which this misspelt knob deals with. A high balanase. Balanase. Balanase! That's a good tone you got there. I'm gonna stop. So yeah, there's rough and smooth. Obviously the two volumes. Crunch and lead, you know, and you can pick your channel this way, and obviously your master A and B this way. It's like, I mean, like, I sure hope it's MIDI switchable. I don't know. I'm like just diving into this plugin with you folks right now. Then there's the effects rack. So this is your noise gate, which I typically run at about -70, and the range I'm not going to even bother touching for now. This tightness and smoothness is basically a low and a high pass filter. So this being the low pass, right? Because you can like make things sound lower, as you can see here. And then the tightness here is so that you don't step on your kick drum, which is around 60 hertz usually for that thump. So I actually like to put this up at about 80. When I'm with a, when I'm using rather a extended range guitar, I bump this up to like 125, 126. But let's do 80. And I actually want to hear all the high-end information. Above 25,000. So we're going to do that because I can't hear more than that anyway. That has a delay. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've tried this before. I don't like it. I just don't like it. We're going to get into it for sure, but I don't like it. And there's some other really strange kind of things in this plugin. So we've got all these amazing IRs, or so we believe that they are amazing. But really, it's all about 78 or 77 for me personally. I haven't been able to find a tone that I absolutely adore with this plugin without using other plugins to enhance the sound of this plugin. I said plugin a lot. Another thing I've noticed is that the input gain is better off a little bit lower so that you use the incredible amounts of gain that's already in the plugin. And then this power soak, I'm not sure if it actually is a power soak or if it's just a gain reduction because like, I don't know. Oh, look, I'm moving it with my mouse. Oh my God. Oh my God. This would totally clip so badly. So I'm gonna leave that at -10. You can bypass the pre and the power amp, which is really cool. So like if you bypass the preamp, I wonder how that would sound with other plugins, for example. Then you're using the power section of this plugin into, you know, this kind of one of these IRs or one of the other IRs that you might have yourself. So yeah, so it's like it's an interesting plugin, lots of knobs and bells and whistles. How does it sound when we start to get a sound that we really want to use in a mix? So I'm gonna just start to shape things, right? Like there's a certain sense of muddiness that I really don't like. So I'm gonna cut some of this and some of that. So that takes out a lot of middle information. Oh, right, we're not on the lead channel just yet. Let me switch that over. So when I dial in gain, I like to have enough gain for it to like saturate really. That was all voice one with my Abasi pickups. I see in my waveform on the screen that you can't see, that is actually really, really quiet. So I'm actually gonna bump this to -5 and just see how it sounds. Yeah, man. So that's sounding pretty great and pretty mix ready. You don't want to have like an incredible amount of highs or an incredible amount of lows or mids when it comes to mixing your guitar. But let's just continue to make this the best that it can possibly sound with this guitar. I'm all about the guitar, like the bedroom guitar player tone, and I'm also all about making a mix ready tone, because if I can't use it in a mix, then I don't want to play around with it when I'm songwriting as much. I want to have that mix ready tone. I want it to be ready to go. That's what I like about the Neural DSP stuff. So when it comes to mix ready tones, this is pretty good. Let's just continue to mess with it. It's like another mix ready tone right there. Presence. There. See, that's pretty fun to play around with, right? That noise gate is not as gradual as I'd like it. That's okay, but that sustain was pretty good, considering how much gain is like on the signal. And now the contour. Sounds pretty fun. There's lots of note separation. I'd say that the contour pressed in, turned on, is actually a little bit more traditional metal, and taken out is a little bit more djenty. Like that was a lot more djenty for me, a more progressive metal tone, whereas this is a lot more death metal, mate. really, really different feelings with the voices. I like it when I can hear the difference between what I do on the guitar in the plugin, because some plugins I feel like some older plugins that are like in Logic in the first place, they're not really the greatest thing, and there's not enough gain usually, and the gain structures are weird, and things sound fizzy and what. So in this case, this guitar, I like that I can hear all the little nuances. So I'm gonna try out this delay, I guess. Let's see, how does it sound? It's all right, 5% mix. So the lo-fi seems like it already seems to have a really significant, rather low pass filter. There's lots of highs taken out of the sound. Right? You hear that? I mean, it's cool. Yeah, feedback is just how many delays you get. Like, you can't even hear it. Weird, man. So, yeah, it's all right, like I said. And if you know your milliseconds, it's easy as well, but... I think it's usable for getting ideas out, but I don't really like the tone of it whatsoever. I like that it has the tap button. I'm sure that it works just fine. Let's see. Wow, I picked 500, right? Yeah. So it's all right, man. It does the trick. It's just nothing to write home about. I think that's what I'm trying to get at ultimately. So I originally wanted an ENGL Savage 120 when I was a teenager, and I ended up getting a Powerball Mark 1, which is like a seriously big price point difference there because I could only get the Powerball. It was my favorite amplifier ever. I retubed it with Russian tubes and it sounded incredible. And I've had a lot of ENGLs in my life, so I really love ENGL, and it needs to have that certain presence. It has a lot of presence left in the presence control, literally in the plugin right now, tons of treble. But I'm really, you know, because I'm an ENGL fan, this is hard for me to really enjoy at first, right? So this tone is currently, you know, the one that I've gotten, and it's the best one that I can get, right? For this current moment. So what I mean by that is this: when it's the morning, you hear high frequencies a little better, because at nighttime you have ear fatigue from just existing and listening to things. And if you listen to a lot of heavy metal guitar all day, by the end of the day, the trebles are going to seem a little bit more anomalous to you, perhaps, right? Like it's a psychological thing almost. And balance in all things, I would like some water. So for me, this is a really big deal for them to get it right. Do I think they've gotten it right? I don't know. You know, there's one good way to test if they've gotten it right. Let's play some riffs from albums that have gotten ENGLs all over them. Now, that's really, really awesome and mix ready sounding to me, but there's something still almost like as if I've got like a vintage tube something going on in there. I don't know how else to describe it. It sounds good. It sounds good. Is it like worth the price point? I don't know. That's for you to decide in your wallet and whatnot. And the more I talk about price point, the more it feels like, you know, I'm stepping into some territory that maybe I shouldn't. I think that it's a pretty cool plugin. I've had the ability to trial it, basically. I'm really thankful for that. It's really great that they have a free trial that doesn't cut out. You know what I mean? Some plugins will do that. They'll just stop working for a couple of seconds and then turn back on. I always really hated that. This is a true good free trial. And yeah, so let me play some Death. That's voice 1. Voice 2, a little bit more bass usually in voice 2. and it's decent. It's decent. I don't know. There's something about it that just isn't 100% of the way there for me. It's like 85%. So this has been this video's tone. I'm going to now show you folks what I was doing beforehand. This is like the ideal tone for me personally here. I'm going to turn this off, turn this one on. This is the tone that I was playing with beforehand. This is like the tone that I like to songwrite a little bit with. Just going to change that power soak. It's a bit quiet in here. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty different tone than the other one, but it's one that I can play obscure riffs and necrophagist riffs and be into, right? So ultimately, folks, I think it's got a plentiful amount of utility for distortion sounds. You can change it up to a certain extent. I'm not going to go through all of these cabinets and IRs because it's just far too many, and a lot of them don't sound very good, to be honest with you. I don't find tones that I like a lot in those. Let's just change the channel and see what it's all about. Here, we're gonna switch over to, we're gonna go into the clean sound. I'll be a neck pickup on the first voicing of this guitar, which is a bit more full. It's decent. Let's some brightness. Quite a lot of brightness. What's this do? Seems to add gain. I'm not really sure. Here, I'll cut the gain down. This doesn't sound terrible. Sounds pretty good, actually. Here, I'm gonna do a little bit of this. This contour, it makes me feel like it's turning my humbucker into a single coil. So I'm gonna actually go into position 2. Turn it off. It's not bad. It's not too much to write home about, you know? Which makes me feel a little bit, not so great about it. So if you roll the presence down, you get a really jazz tone. Which is pretty good, but again, nothing to really write home about. And I don't like saying that because I actually really enjoy the distortion part of this plugin, specifically the lead, because of all the potential. Another band that uses ENGLs a lot is Symphony X, and I really love those riffs. Let's see if this tone is able to accomplish that kind of a feeling. So I think I'm beginning to understand the shortcomings and the good parts of this plugin. There is something about the Neural DSP plugins that I use that when I crunch down, when I really mute down on the guitar, I can feel it in the same way, in virtually the same way as a tube amplifier. And with this plugin, it doesn't seem to have that same level of nuance. That's what I feel personally. In the room with the speakers looking directly at me, I'm roughly at ear level here. So that seems to be a bit of a thing, you know. If you're really wanting a classic technical death metal tone and to have a lot of utility with a plugin, this is definitely fantastic. There's no doubt about it. It's just that, you know, some things make sense. Like I do like that it's got a delay in there. It doesn't really tell you that it's a delay unless you look at the tiny font. And I don't know, I always want things to be a bit bigger. Maybe I'm getting old. Oh no. I would like to see that a bit more. And despite the fact that there's so many cabinet impulse responses, and it's great because they actually have what they've used on that cabinet to make it sound the way that it sounds, it's still, a lot of it is not really for me. And that doesn't make any sense. This is a heavy metal amplifier. Why doesn't it work for me? You know, I don't have such extraordinary needs. I like technical death metal and death metal, and I like progressive metal as well to a certain extent. Not so much the djenty stuff, at least not anymore. So I'm a little surprised that I didn't completely fall in love with it. And let me explain to you the input gain issue here now. I found that I was clipping the amplifier from this guitar into the DI setting on my Focusrite Scarlett, so I had to turn down the input gain because it was just maxing out, and it had that, you know, that horrible sound that when it does that, when you have too much gain. It was doing that. It was doing that with my 8th string. It was doing that with my 6th string. My 8th string has passive pickups. This one has active pickups. So that was really bizarre. I don't understand why or how that might be problematic or how it would work, but ultimately, folks, I wonder what you think about this one. I would really like to buy it. I don't have the money for it. Not like I have other things to unfortunately put my money towards, like maybe another light or something like that for the videos, or, you know. But so for me personally, I don't think I will purchase this. I think it has value and I think it sounds pretty damn good. Does it sound like an ENGL Savage 120? That's the question for you folks to answer. All right, I've been Paul Oz. Thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, or if you want to hang out and see some more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. I'm out here playing, enjoying, reviewing. I have lots of tips and helpful videos as well, because I'm a guitar teacher. I mentor people, actually. It's a bit more intense than guitar teaching. And so, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And that's about it, folks. I'm gonna go now. Have a good one. Cheers.